So we're about out of summer. It's funny how in life you're either going into a season, you're in the middle of one, or coming out of one. And we've had a pretty wild ride so far this year in our season. And the more that I read, I've been drawn to Job lately. And Job, when he entered into this time of testing, when everything got stripped off of him, a man who was upright and righteous and doing all the things he's supposed to be doing still lost absolutely everything. And, it caused him to question everything in his life, trying to wrap his head around it. You have your friends coming at you, telling you you're wrong, and your wife also saying, just curse God and die. And then, you have blind Bartimaeus, another one I got drawn to. In the gospel, he's sitting there, a beggar on the side of the road. And when he heard Jesus, he said, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And everyone said, be quiet and sit down. And nobody wants to hear you, especially Jesus. This man stood up and yelled even louder, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And so as soon as Jesus stopped, now all of a sudden, that changed the tone of the entire crowd. Everyone's like, oh, he's calling you. Come on, come on, come on. Yet 2 minutes ago, they're saying, just sit down, shut up, and be quiet. You're a nobody, and you don't deserve to have the opportunity to even speak to Jesus. It's funny how people are at times. And so, in these 2 stories, there's a ton of opportunity and there's a ton of opposition. And so the opposition is always clearly presented right in front of your face all the time. Not the opportunity, though. Not the opportunity. In Job's situation, everybody that he had in his corner was telling him how wrong he was and the fact that he had to have done something wrong, and you need to admit that. Blind Bartimaeus has probably been told for a long time that he's never going to amount to nothing. You're a beggar. You don't have anything. You have nothing to offer. There's no benefit derived from anything we could do with you or for you or from you. And so just sit down and be quiet, because Jesus doesn't need to be bothered by you. That's probably been the tone for him for some time, and Job is not used to hearing this, because Job was an influential person of his day, and he was rich, and he was important, and he took care of business, and yet he was hearing the same thing. And isn't that funny how you hear the same thing throughout your life? They'll tell you at times, you've relapsed too many times, or you've been in jail too many times, or how many times can you mess up? You've got to learn to not listen to that. You find yourself in a sticky situation, and how many have instantly prayed to God for help? Help me, God, please get me out of this. Please give me financial help, or give me the job, or give me the house, or give me the car, or give me the opportunity. We pray for that, but I think we're praying wrong. If you read Job questioned everything, and he tried to maintain his integrity throughout the entire time, and he maintained the fact that he was right in his position. But at the end of it all, he was never instructed to pray for his situation, which is the amazing part. Job was to pray for his friends and all of what they said to him. So it had nothing to do with Job's situation at all. God had them bring a sacrifice and told Job to pray for them, or God was going to take them out. And as soon as Job prayed for his friends, who were all telling him how wrong he was, God restored everything Job lost, but not just restored it, but he doubled it when Job prayed for his friends, the ones who were opposing him. Think about in the gospel, Jesus says, pray for your enemies. He also goes on to say, around the same time frame, of what credit is it to us if we like the people that we like and love the people that we love. It's to our credit that if we love the people who don't like us, if we love the people who hate us, if we love the people who are always talking about us, those are the ones we should be praying for. So in your time of peril, in your time of testing, maybe if we would take our attention and our focus and our prayers off of our own situation and magnify the other people that's surrounding us, and maybe the ones who are beating us down, and the ones who are naysaying us, and the ones who are doubting us, and the ones who are saying, obviously you had done something wrong to wind up in that situation, we need to be praying for them. We need to be praying for everybody else within your sphere. And it doesn't really make sense, does it? Because the more I thought about this, the more it made no sense to me, but made perfect sense to me, because God doesn't do things the way we would want to do them. And he even says so when you're reading in Psalms. He says, you thought I was just like you, and I'm not. I'm nothing like any of you. So God does things in a different time zone. He marches to the beat of a different drum. And so that's so cool, though. When you see how God works, it's so cool. And whenever you can see how we would want to do it, we want to pray for our situation. We want to pray for a way out, and pray for direction, and pray for an open door, and pray for all these things. Yet those are the wrong prayers. The ones we think you should be praying are not. So when you're in the moment of testing, when you're in a moment of just kind of pure hell, for the lack of a better word, pray for those who are persecuting you. Pray for the ones who aren't helping you. Pray for the ones who are talking about you. Pray for the ones who have turned their back on you. Pray for them. Pray for them and see what kind of results God ends up bringing to you. Because everything that I have read in my Bible, the ones who have prayed for those who oppose them got out of their situation so fast. Not only did they get out of it, but they got out of it with prosperity. They got out of it with answers. They got out of it with the things that they were searching for from the very beginning. So whenever you're going into these things, remember, opposition is always clearly presented. It's the opportunity. You have to find it. You have to search for it. You have to go in and try to figure that out, because even God himself says that in Hebrews chapter 4, you enter the throne room boldly and confidently so you can receive mercy, but that also you can find grace. Even with God, you got to find it. He'll give you mercy. You can receive that. But the grace that you want, the grace that you need, he says you got to come in and find it. So that's kind of the theme of God. Look at Deuteronomy. Go in and possess it. As they were pep talking this next generation who had yet to see anything because everyone was in the wilderness for 38 and odd some years, he was pep talking them, saying that the thing that I had promised you, the land that you're supposed to possess, is there waiting on you. You have to go in and possess it. Go get it. And that's what God's saying to us now. Don't wait on it. Go get it. And when you're praying, pray for those who are against you. Pray for those who are persecuting. Pray for those who have turned their back on you. Pray for those who are beating you up with their mouth. Pray for them and see how fast things don't turn around.